today's collective messages. I really hope all my earth angels are doing really well, and I think I'm going to change the titles of these to earth angel messages. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing good today. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list all in the description box below, and I truly appreciate anybody who does that as well. And I kind of forgot to grab my messages for today, so we're going to grab them from the whole pile of messages today. So, first off, I feel like the collective definitely has somebody looking at you with the eyes of love, like you are the light of their life, like you are the diamond of their being. You are very strong, a warrior in a lot of ways, and at the same time, you have a lot of heart energy, a lot of romantic energy, a lot of loving, beautiful energy. So I feel like today's message, a lot of it is going to be based on some of the unions that are happening in this small collective. It's actually a very small collective. So if it ever feels like a personal reading, that's probably a lot of the reason why. So somebody is definitely looking at you with the eyes of love, with the eyes of happiness. You are like this shining beacon of hope and beauty in their life. Somebody very strong, yet very soft. Somebody who embodies both the masculine and the feminine energies in a very balanced way. And this person does as well. There's going to be a coming together, a bridging of a gap. There may have been a lot of emotions between you at some point, but those emotions are finally coming to peace. There's a lot of abundance and fertility just around the corner for this union. Definitely something that's going to bring life. There's a very life-giving feeling coming from this painting. Forests bring a lot of life. A lot of different plants, a lot of different animals. At this time, though, I feel like this person may be feeling a bit like they're a predator for going after somebody so innocent and so pure. And at the same time, somebody could be feeling a little bit nervous and like they want to run away from the connection. Somebody definitely has you in their sights, though. You might even feel a little bit paralyzed by this in ways. Unsure of your next move or what direction you're going. But clarity is definitely coming. Truths are going to be revealed. There's a song called Woof, but there's probably 50 songs called Woof. And I can't think of who sings it right now. So maybe it's just whatever song you come across that's called Woof. Wolves by Sam Tienes, I think. Anyway, this is definitely a very beautiful energy that's going to be coming into you, a very peaceful energy for the collective. Things being healed, bridges being gapped, or, gapped bridges being rebuilt. I don't know. Anyway, you are so free, authentic, and true to you. You fly high and you take those leaps with a steady faith and courage. I don't feel like you see yourself as so courageous, but you are. If anyone I know has balls, it's you. You are confident and stable in your pursuits. You stand up for what you believe in and for what you feel is right. You never turn a blind eye to injustice. Your curiosity is an amazing part of you as well, and always ensures that I won't be bored when with you around. I won't back down, Tom Petty. So there is definitely a lot of I won't back down type of energy here. You could stand me up at the gates of hell, but I stand my ground and won't be turned around. Yeah. Somebody is definitely feeling this way about you, but I feel like this is somebody that you feel this way about too. We call to ourselves mirrors. When we look in them, do we see the things that we don't like, or do we see the things that we do like about ourselves? Once we heal ourselves and the things that we aren't comfortable with about ourselves and we're feeling good about ourselves, we start to see more of the positive sides of the people around us as well. Any past loved ones have a message for you. I did get your Cash App, and I was actually just getting ready to ask about that too. So, message from a lost loved one. Dream, eagle, unicorn. Majesty, power, concern. Things will be positive emotionally. Your options can't be changed easily, good or bad. Courage and the desire to explore and grow. Good fortune and victory are coming your way. If you were attacked, it means that there are some self-imposed limitations you need to break through. It could be career success or ambitious goals are about to be achieved for you. Fierceness, freedom, courage. You may be facing a fight for your rights. Hope, insight, high ideals, power, purity. Magical feeling or a wish for more in life, especially more magic. High personal standards. You may have some distinct and unique abilities. Gentleness and meekness can be represented here as well. Fight for what you want. Set healthy boundaries, but remain pure and loving in spirit. It can be representing your innocence, high ideals to be followed, fortune coming your way, insight into a matter of importance is being given to you. Faith in your dreams and belief is needed. Good times are ahead. You possess great power and strength, and you can face anything. So, you may have been having some dreams lately, and this could be your lost loved one trying to reach out to you. And these are the things that they're trying to symbolize in your dreams. Let me in. I am here to take you out. You can't stop us. We'll just keep coming. It was all a dream. Why am I dreaming? Others are trying to kill me. You might be dealing with threats in your daily life, trust issues, and toxic people. You don't feel safe around these toxic people. It's time to clean house and clear out anyone or anything that means you harm or makes you feel unsafe. Listen to and trust your intuition. So, you could have definitely been having some dreams about people trying to attack you as well. And if you've been having dreams like that, then that's what it's talking about is people that you're feeling like are attacking you in some sort of way in your waking life. And if you're feeling like people are attacking you, then it's time to move away from those people. Doesn't have to be a big scene even, just, okay, I'm going to move away from this energy. You can let them know honestly that, hey, I just don't feel like I want to be around you anymore. So I'm going to have to go this way. Weirdly, I've actually told people similar things that, not trying to be an asshole or anything, but I gotta move away from you because I'm not liking the energy. Flying high. I'm standing at the edge, looking out over the ledge, a place that used to hold so much dread. But now I find peace in my head, taking that leap, 1,000-foot drop. Now I no longer want to stop. My wings unfurl and spread wide. Overcome with pride, I cried. I knew I could do it all along. In my heart, a steady song. I'm so glad I no longer stand, stuck in place on that piece of land, watched over, protected, and seen through, a journey made by far too few. Grab your faith and follow me to the promised sky where we are free. 121:22. So, I'm pretty sure this poem actually came out in my recent reading for a message from a lost loved one as well, in pile 3. I think it was pile 3. You could definitely be standing on the edge of something that you're wanting to do, and it's time to really take that leap of faith, and to know that as doors close behind you, doors are opening in front of you as well. And there's some very beautiful doors that are opening in front of you. So don't be scared of the change. There's going to be some negative things about it. There's always good and bad things about every situation that we're in. But there's nothing to be afraid of because there's going to be more good coming in than bad from the doors that are currently opening in your life. And a lot of that is going to be in being in a better energy because you're not feeling so paranoid or upset or worried or anxious all the time because you don't have those energies around you that are causing you to feel that way. I actually had to walk away from one earlier this year, or last year. It was the beginning of last year. She went a little nuts. There was a guy that was attracted to me, and I was not attracted to him, so I told him no, and he ended up going after her, I think partially to make me jealous or to try to get me to see how awesome he was. I don't know. But either way, he came at me again a couple times, and I was like, no, you are now dating my friend, and nope, not going to happen. She ended up freaking out on me when he broke up with her the next day and talking about me sleeping with him and all kinds of other stuff. And she ended up messaging me at some point that she went and got checked and she has HIV, and so does he now. So hope you're happy with your HIV. And I was like, yeah, I don't have HIV, and I'm even happier that I followed my intuition and didn't sleep with that guy. Not that I was really attracted to him anyway, but really glad I didn't sleep with him. I was like, how many times have I told you that? Sorry you don't believe that. She followed me all over town for a little bit, and I was like, you know what? This is it. If you bother me one more time, I will be calling the cops to have a restraining order put on you, period. Bottom line. I'm giving you this chance right now to walk away from this before I do go to that level. And she had sent me messages about killing me and shit like that, but she also is a very imbalanced person. She has some mental health issues, things like that. And generally, most of what she says she doesn't mean, but she does have a very strong temper. So there was part of me that was feeling like, yeah, she's going to kill me while I'm sleeping, like burn my house down while I'm in it, while I'm sleeping or something. And so, getting away from those energies that you're feeling that from is very healthy for you. It shows that self-love for you. It also shows people how you wish to be treated, how you don't wish to be treated. It's setting those boundaries so that your life is in a healthier state. Which technically not setting boundaries could be considered forms of mental health issues as well. And you got to learn them somewhere. So, back to the collective messages. Thank you for your purchase as well. And I hope that message resonated and fit for your situation. So for the collective, there is definitely a very strong transformation coming in. A more strong exoskeleton being built. Thicker skin. Really being able to acknowledge when things are personal or when things are because people have something going on with themselves. You're welcome, sweetheart. And so I feel like you guys are learning how to maneuver around each other. You guys may actually both be a bit strategic in your movements or your methods in some sort of way as well. You're definitely facing each other, and when you're facing each other, you're looking in a mirror. You're seeing things on a different level, from a different perspective. From an outside viewpoint into your own life in ways. Because both of you have a lot of similar characteristics and qualities, but still it's opposite. It's very opposite. And you know what they say, opposites attract. And those opposites are the same in certain ways as well, though. A lot of times when you're looking at somebody and you're seeing something that you don't like say passive-aggressive behaviors to cover their emotions, speaking in jokes or riddles or, things like that. A lot of times you can look in the mirror and go, hey, wait a second, I do that sometimes when I'm not feeling like I can express my truth. And then you work on yourself instead of trying to force another person to change. Sometimes they have to be able to see, too, that, hey, you've changed this behavior. Because change is possible and change can happen. But some people believe very deeply that change can't happen. Some people get it ingrained in there very deeply, and some people have it very subconsciously in there and don't even realize that it's in there, but it's still in there, nagging at the corner of their mind that, oh, you think you've changed, or oh, you think you can change, but you really can't change. You're always going to be exactly the same. But, the choices we make in our life to improve ourselves, that is changes, and that's changes that we made happen. There's a lot of things you can't control in this world, but one thing you can control is your own self and what you choose to do each day. What you choose to wake up and tell yourself. What you choose to do with the emotions you feel. You may not be able to control having emotions, but you can learn to work through them in better ways when you're having trouble dealing with them. I come from an Irish-Italian background, so it takes a lot of that. Tropical breeze. It's break time now. Release, but how? Letting go can be tricky, especially if you're really picky. Let go of control so you can be free. Delegate responsibilities and you will see. A break will give you the pep that you need so you can continue to nurture this brand new seed. Remember to balance any needed things. Balance is the song that your soul sings. Find some peace and calm in nature's song. Such blissful release could never be wrong. If you guys want to be able to find this, you can find this on my other channel, Dee's Storytime, as well. The link is in the description box below. So you're definitely both working on releasing things, on learning how to let others in, on learning how to accept help when it's needed, learning how to ask for help when it's needed, and learning how to be okay with that. You may actually be a little bit further along on this journey than another person is, and maybe you may actually be teaching another person a lot about this as well. Especially if you have a child. One who's very intuitive, very sensitive, very intelligent. One who could really use their gifts for good or evil at this point and kind of trying to steer things towards that brighter side, acknowledging the shadows, but not living in them. You have a lot of intelligence, and you're definitely somebody very cheeky, somebody that has a good sense of humor, somebody that really is very different and creative as well. You see things in a very different way than a lot of people do. You see what's hidden underneath the surface. And when people see what's hidden underneath the surface, you can compare yourself to the ones who use that bad way, because they are the same. They have just fallen into that shadow side, which could very well happen to us when we're not taking care of ourselves and working on those things, which is why great power is such a great responsibility. Because great power can become deadly when you turn into the villain. And that's where a lot of them start, is they want to be heroes, and then they turn into the villain. Or they're just stuck in this warped view and unwilling to accept that things could be looked at in a different way. I personally don't hate any of the people that have hurt me in the ways that they have. They have hurt me, yeah. And do I want them to hurt me again? No. Am I going to allow them to hurt me again? Hell no. But do I hate them? No. Honestly, a big part of me sometimes weeps for the child within them that is so hurt. And there's nothing wrong with that. The world might want you to think that there's something wrong with that, because there's so many people that give into abuse because of that feeling of empathy or understanding. But that feeling of empathy and understanding is what changes this world, not the feelings of hate. Slow and steady wins the pace, and that's definitely something that's going to be good to keep in mind in this situation as well. Because everything takes time to grow. Everything takes time to build. If you want something to be strong, and you want something to be solid, and you want something to be built with quality, it takes time. In this world today, everybody's on fast mode all the time. But sometimes things do take time to do. Think about how much more quality was in a lot of our older products. Or if you go and buy things that are made from somebody locally, than if you go to a store like Walmart and buy their furniture. That shit falls apart in no time. I should know. I've broke 3 beds and a futon from Walmart. Actually, you know what? I think we ordered the futon off of Amazon. So, and I don't know if we actually got the beds at Walmart, but I'm thinking we got them somewhere where they were a little bit more cheap. But when you're going for quality, things are better. When you're going for quantity, then you're going for quantity. And that's what you're going to end up with. You're going to end up with things that were sloppily and hastily thrown together because everybody was afraid to allow them time to mature. And you're going to end up with things that fall apart quickly. And you're going to end up with things that fall apart in very bad ways sometimes as well. But when you take that time to get to know each other, to evolve the connection, to become friends, that friendship is what comes first instead of the relationship, the friendship. And I'm sure that's what everybody is wanting, is a friendship that lasts the test of time. And that's what a relationship is supposed to be. But when you're so focused on the relationship, you're not focused on the friendship, and you behave in a different way. People tend to get into that possessive or controlling or fearful or anxious energy instead of that energy of, and taking things personally and, oh my God, do they like me the same, and all that other stuff, instead of focusing on, this is my friend. We can hang out together. We have fun. We have a good time. It's nice being able to be around somebody I feel so comfortable and free around. Comfortable and free. When you're feeling anxious, repressed, when you're feeling like you can't say what's on your mind, you can't be who you are, that becomes a very tense situation. And a lot of times when we're hoping somebody loves us, that's what we attract into us. Instead of attracting into us the person that is feeling comfortable around us and like they can be themselves around us, and vice versa. Going a little deeper. And also trusting in and believing in the healer that you are, the joy that you bring, the intelligence that you have. Instead of worrying about whether or not you're being naive or stupid, thinking about how intelligent you are, how happy you are, how positive these situations are, how positive your interactions are going to be with other people, and how good they're going to go. Your wishes are definitely coming true. Wish granted is what's coming to mind. That's been coming to mind a lot the last couple weeks. Also being able to see through the shallow things. And really being able to feel emotionally satisfied and strong and safe on your own. All of these things that you have worked so hard to develop inside of yourself, and the self-love that you've developed through your long journey, has really brought you to this place of feeling very valuable, of feeling very strong, very confident, abundant, and fertile. And it has really made your whole world blossom around you. And if it hasn't started yet, this is what's coming. Your whole world is going to be blossoming around you. And you're going to feel like there's nothing else you need, because you have everything that you need. And you have it all inside of yourself, but you want to share it with another. And I feel like another is going to be feeling this about you as well. Somebody that wants to nurture and care for you. somebody that wants to love and respect you, somebody who is kind and compassionate, somebody that loves themselves because they have been able to go on their own journey towards this self-love as well. And sometimes those journeys have to be made separately. Sometimes you can grow as you go, but sometimes those journeys have to take place separately before you can come together as well. There's a song called Grow As We Go. It's actually a very good song. I feel like there is something that is slowly growing as you go in your life, and it's building, and it's creating something very beautiful, something very solid and stable, something very strong that could stand the test of time instead of being blown down in the first windstorm. It's like the story of the three little pigs, and how the first pig built his house out of straw, and the next pig built his house out of twigs, and the next pig built his house out of bricks. And the whole time he was spending all of those days continuously laboring and toiling and working and doing his best, proud of his work. They were behind him taunting him because, oh, who's afraid of the big bad wolf? We built our houses so quickly, and look how sturdy they are. They're going to be just fine for us. And when the wolf came, whose house did they run to? They ran to his house. And he let them in, and he protected them too, because he loved them, regardless of whether or not they were upset at him because they thought what he was doing was stupid because they couldn't see into the future. But he could. He could see into the future. So he spent his time and he built his house with fortitude and solidity. He knew that he needed something to keep him protected and safe. And it wasn't something that could be done in a day. It was something that took a while to build. The fairy tales we hear when we're children really do a lot. They mean a lot for this world. There's probably a lot of children's writers who, before they started doing that, really didn't even realize how much of an impact that their words would make on this world. But that's basically what it is going after the things that you feel right about in your heart, having hope, and believing that your wishes can come true, believing that you deserve what you're wanting, and believing that your hard work will pay off, because your hard work and your dedication is very important. It's very valuable. It's not something found everywhere, as witnessed by the other two little pigs who were haphazardly throwing their house together and were done really quick and playing all the days away. And the one who toiled and worked and put in that labor was the one who was there for them at the end of the day. Everything or Nothing at All by Willie Echo, I think, or something like that. Willie something. Everything or Nothing at All is a great song. And that's what it's reminding me of, is I'm the one that you don't speak of. I'm the one they call the underdog. Because every time that push comes to shove, I'm climbing over you to reach the top. And sometimes we need to not climb over people to reach the top too. So let's see what other messages we have coming out today. I'm crying tears of joy because I know that you will succeed. You've got this. I'm sorry that I couldn't be with you in the 3D, in your special moment, but know that I'm still here watching it all. I'm so proud of you, and I hope that you know it. Get quiet, and you will feel my presence. So, if this is a separation situation or just a situation where you two have not met and came together yet, they are still with you, celebrating with you. Hi, Kayla. So, you definitely have somebody watching over you from the other side as well, that is very proud of you and the path that you have carved out in your life. Your drive to be able to break the karmic cycles, to be able to overcome the obstacles, to be able to truly be who you are and express yourself. Your ability to bring changes in and to really change the way you view things and do things. your ability to be able to overcome some of the shadow aspects that your ancestors fought against every day. And they just want to let you know that they are very proud of you and aware of how hard this path that you are taking can be sometimes. They are definitely in awe of your power. Hidden pain. I cry these silent tears today. Compassion has never came my way. If I'm upset, it's always crazy. All my thoughts are so hazy. I'm always there to give a heart. I'm always there to give a hug. My heartstrings, they always tug. But on the flip side, I'm alone. No one enters that crazy zone. I'm treated as less for my tears or opening up and expressing my fears. It's allowed for all but me, and I'm tired of not being free. Why is it okay for others to cry, but when it's me, they can't understand why? I haven't always been the best on this front, accused others like me of having a front, all because it was done to me. I know better and set you free. So like I was saying before, that, when we're feeling certain ways about ourselves and the things that we're doing, and it translates out into the world in a shadow aspect. And that shadow aspect for this one is that sometimes you might have been a little bit harsh with others for having emotions as well and expressing those emotions because you were feeling like it wasn't okay for you to express yours. And learning these hard lessons and overcoming these hard lessons, being able to face those mirrors and see those things in yourself, and being able to forgive them and love them and come back over to that light aspect of yourself where you're okay with expressing your emotions, feeling your emotions, being who you are, and showing others that it's okay as well. That is one of those lessons like that where you free yourself from that. And then you can start to see a bit more that when others have things going on, sometimes it's less about you and more about what they have going on inside and how hurt they are and how repressed they feel, how misunderstood they feel, how out in the cold they feel right now. The island of misfits is coming to mind. And that does not mean you accept or put up with abuse or behaviors that you find to hurt you. In fact, mention them and mention them very loudly. But also remember what's on the other side of that. And whether or not people change is up to them, not you. So sometimes you do got to walk away from it because you can't be around it either. Because it starts affecting you. Hawk, optimistic, decisive, strategic, and creative. Rebirth, guardianship, fearlessness, protection, memory. Be perceptive about others. Don't allow situations or people to deceive you. Be on your guard and don't lose faith in your perceptions, whether others cause doubt or not. You have vision and you have intuition. The hawk is calling on you to rely on it. See situations from a different and higher perspective and keep the bigger picture in focus. It's time to take flight and reach for the skies. Trust your instincts, making decisions or completing tasks. The universe is helping you to expand your knowledge and learn lessons. Hawk represents messengers of the spiritual realm, and you are being guided through these lessons for the highest good. Trust in that and the nudges that you are receiving. Zebras, swan, dragonfly. Things may be up and down right now. Remain peaceful, balanced, and don't become frustrated. You are a visionary and able to navigate effectively through the turmoil because you see things differently from others. You are very connected to your intuition and insight at this time. You are very different, an individual who likes freedom and will do anything to obtain it. Don't let others stand in your way. You always get back up. Obstacles are stepping stones in the right direction. There may be a need for balance and order in your life. Take pride in your accomplishments, but remain humble. Glory and joyfulness are coming into your life. Happiness and good finances are coming. Prosperity and luck are on your side. Be pure. Go with the flow. Enjoy company of others. Grace, beauty, and dignity are qualities that you possess. Dancing will help you to release any worries or anxieties. Transformation, change, renewal, rebirth are coming. You may be feeling unstable or insecure. Stand up for yourself and for your beliefs. A second chance may come, but don't let jealousy or attachment get in the way. So, I've been doing a lot of dancing lately, and let me tell you, it really does help with the mood that you're in. It really raises your vibration and makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you're doing something about something that you can do something about too. It's something that really brings a lot of joy and a lot of happiness, especially when you're doing it without a care or worry in the world and you're just feeling like you can fully be yourself and express yourself. It really helps with dealing with a lot of the situations outside of you. And also it helps you to be in a more peaceful, higher vibrational energy so that you can listen to your intuition and not your fear. So that you can listen to what's really going on inside of you instead of what's going on in the outside world. Anger reigns, a time to change. Let your anger float away, no more poison for today. Anger eating at my soul makes me feel less than whole. Forgiveness brings peace that sets me free. Letting go is the key. Don't allow your power to be taken or the light within to be shaken. Free your mind of the pain, a gentle, soft, cleansing rain. Healing fills you in this time, healing from this very rhyme. So, I was just thinking about the fact that there's a poem, I think, for almost every single deadly sin. Anger, lust, jealousy, greed. I got a poem for a lot of emotions. They're emotions. And the way that people take that such out of context is ridiculous sometimes. Like lust, they think all gay people are just lusting after each other and that's all it is. But you know what? That's love. They love each other. And love, no matter what sex it's between, is love. Love is love. And I would like more love in this world, not more hate. People that are filled with hate over gay people, that's not love. But gay people's relationships, I have seen the love there. And that is love. I'm all for more love. It doesn't matter who you have that love with. Anyway, back to what we were talking about before. Anger and hidden pain and allowing yourself to express yourself. Dancing is really going to bring a lot of good energy into your life. Once again, it really does help you to express yourself in a way where you can just be yourself and move with the flow and what you're feeling and what you're going through. And it allows you to be able to express it in such a healthy way. Painting, drawing, any kind of art is really good for that as well. So is with anger. Beating the fuck out of a pillow is great for anger. And you know what? People might think that's a little bit weird, or, it's very cathartic when it comes to anger. Just being able to express it and let it out so that when you go to address the situation, you're in a more moderated position instead of being so upset about the situation. Hi, Azadi. Nice to see you again. Definitely something to do with a life partner situation as well. So it's time to release the anger. It's time to see what's behind that anger, the pain that may be hiding in the recesses of your heart, and that could be causing a lot of poison to affect you. The way that you're behaving, the way that you're acting, the way that you're speaking, it's not coming from the place of your heart anymore. It's coming from a place of anger, hurt, pain, rage, maybe even. And it's time to really understand why. Why are you so angry? Why are you so hurt, so upset, so frustrated? And it's time to figure out what words that you can put that into, that you can express in a healthy way, in a way that isn't blaming everyone else, in a way that is, these are my feelings and these are my emotions and I have a reason to be feeling them. At the same time, these feelings are coming from me, and they are my feelings. And they aren't because of anyone else, they are because of what I am going through. Anger can be an issue for a lot of people at times. I am Italian Irish, as I've mentioned a few different times. There's other things in there as well. There's a little bit of native from what I'm told in Dutch, but it's mostly Irish and Italian. And yeah, my mom and my dad, wow, let me tell you. Yeah, they're very passionate. And passionate can be another word for anger. It can also be another word for love. It can also be another word for every other emotion there is. When you have a lot of emotions, you have a lot of emotions, and it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's sometimes very explosive and crazy and off the wall. And, that's where that whole unconditional love thing comes in too. But also being able to be somebody who recognizes those things inside of yourself and works to deal with them better. And not because you don't love your ancestors or the way they did things or the passion that they have. I still have a lot of passion. I just direct it better to where it's not exploding all over everyone around me in regular intervals like a volcano. Hi, Rashima. Nice to see you again. Yes, passionate. We're passionate. It does. My mom and my dad, they had a lot of very negative things to say about themselves at times, but both of them would always say that the other one had the biggest heart of anyone they ever knew. They would literally give their shirt off their back to somebody who needed it. And at the same time, they really would not admit that they had anything else in common, but they were a lot the same person. They were very passive aggressive at times, very snipey at times. They really had a lot of criticism to throw out there in very harsh ways at times, which, truths can be harsh sometimes. But yeah, they both talked a lot. Massive, massive amounts of talking. And they both got so angry because the other person talked so much and never shut up. And at the end of their days, though, well, my mom's still here, but my dad passed away a couple years ago. And as much pain as my mom felt for my stepdad when he passed away, because she felt a lot of it, she shared a lot of it. And she felt a lot of that same pain for my dad, although she didn't express it. She just shared the songs. She shared all of the things that, gave clues and hints to the fact that she felt that love for him. And she did write out something about him as well, where she showed that love. But for the most part, she didn't, I really miss him or anything like that. But, there was that there still. Because once there's that love there, it's always there. Underneath the hate, the pain, the anger, the I don't like certain aspects of you, and they couldn't spend much time around each other either. It was like, an hour or two max, and they need to be out of each other's vicinity. Because then they would start arguing. They could only spend so much time together before they started arguing. And they had a lot of love for each other, though, behind all of that. And sometimes there is that there. And sometimes things can come back together, and sometimes they just can't. Because no matter how much love they had for each other, they couldn't spend more than 2 hours in each other's company. And regardless of whether or not that was something they needed to heal inside themselves, they did not work to heal that inside themselves. When people do work to heal that inside themselves, sometimes things can actually be repaired, though. Yes, they can, very much so. And at the same time, sometimes soulmates is far less triggering than other types of connections as well. So, there's a lot of golden opportunities coming your way. And these golden opportunities are coming your way because you've worked your ass off for them. You have really put in the time, the effort, the energy, not just for yourself, but for your family around you. And it's not just in a state of increasing financial stability or anything like that. You have worked your ass off to create a stable foundation inside of yourself. so that you can be that stable foundation for others as well. And so that others can learn how to be that stable foundation from watching you. You have really worked very hard to create a lot of stability inside yourself. And if you haven't done this work yet, this is the work that you are working on that is paying off in this way. Even if those payoffs aren't coming in right now, you've already been working on this. And you're continuing to work on it. And you're not going to be willing to give it up for anything or anyone. And because of that, you are going to be able to create a strength inside of yourself that cannot be shaken. And it's definitely going to create a union between two people who are in that same energy. And it's going to create a foundation for something real, solid, stable, long lasting. Something where both parties can communicate openly and honestly. Because that's what a lot of my mom and dad had wrong with each other too, was that both of them were very honest. To the point of, I am a complete and total asshole because I'm so honest. And, both of them kind of didn't like that quality in the other person, but they also weren't even seeing that quality in themselves. They were very blinded to that quality in themselves, and they weren't willing to look in that mirror. But all the mirror searching and soul searching that you've been doing is what causes that change and that difference. It's what breaks those cycles and those chains from the past. Snake, shed the old skin. Heart guardian, love and let yourself be loved. Your ability to be able to admit when you're feeling vulnerable, when you're feeling weak, is something that is very important in any kind of healthy relationship. If you don't want people burying things and keeping them hidden underground, then both people have to feel comfortable and open doing that. And it's a slow process, a steady process of opening up. When you shove two people in a house the day after they met, it creates a lot of problems because they mold themselves into the people that they think the other person wants them to be. And a lot of the other person's reactions to the way you are or who you are can cause you to feel like you need to do that. It doesn't make it their fault that you chose to do that, because you still chose to do that. And they still chose to do that. But resentments can be created through time of dealing with that and of feeling like you're boxing up half of yourself. When you give something that time to produce and that time to grow without having to put this giant ball of commitment on it, that's not called being non-committal. That's called creating a stable, strong, lasting relationship. Of course, having both parties put it out there that they are hoping for something to be built from this is also something that helps as well. But when you place too much pressure on it and too much expectations on it, you feel like you have not enough worth. You start to feel like your self-esteem is down. You start to feel like you need to do things to change yourself or to morph yourself or to be somebody different. You start to feel like you are being watched on an all-the-time basis, being tested on an all-the-time basis. And like you need to pass this test that's going on. Things like that. And you could be instead feeling love blooming. You could be feeling friendship arising. You could be feeling comfortable and like you don't have any reason to be somebody other than what you are, because the person who loves you is going to love you as you are, completely naked, completely you. And that's what you're wanting more than anything, is to have that, not that fake version of it. Which is also why it's so important to be okay standing strong on your own. Because otherwise, you give into that loneliness to create something that is a little more shallow, whether we want to think of ourselves as shallow or not. There was definitely heartbreak, hurt, pain in the past that you've really been working on, working your way through. You're coming to a lot of new conclusions, ideas, understandings. You're having a lot of new passion come into your life, a lot of new beliefs. All of these things happened for a reason and a purpose, so that you could have these new ideas, these new beliefs, these new insights and awareness, so you could have these new beginnings. So you can have the motivation, ambition, and drive to go after what it is that you wanted to go after. And so that you can look back from a different perspective and understand the things that you went through. There's definitely a new beginning coming in for a lot of you, union-wise. And it could definitely be something from the past as well. But it's something where you are going to be building something slow, steady, stable, and strong, and you're going to have to keep your patience. You're going to have to remind yourself that I'm just living life and it's okay. You're going to have to remind yourself that things don't always move as quickly as I would like them to move, but that's okay, because sometimes they're moving exactly the way they're meant to move. And I'm just going to let go of control and allow things to unfold naturally the way that they're meant to be unfolding, instead of trying to direct them in some sort of way. Yes, a new beginning, Rashima. The song Crazy is coming to mind. Do you really think that you're in control? Ha ha ha, bless your soul. Yeah, because we're not in control. But what we can do is enjoy the ride too. We don't have to be freaking out and holding on to the edges of the roller coaster thinking it's going to drop us on our heads. We can just enjoy that ride. It could definitely be some career related and friendship related new beginnings as well, because there is that feeling here too. But I feel like it's just in all areas of your life, just being refreshed and renewed. And a lot of it's because of your change in perspective, not because anything outside you really changed, but because your perspective has changed. And now you're just enjoying yourself instead of worrying about what's to come and when is it going to get here. You're just enjoying yourself and the time that you have. Triple moon. Embracing all aspects of yourself, the divine and the earthly. Trinket 5, manifesting money and income. Achievement, win the award, accolade, or contract. Trusting, allowing, and manifesting, exactly. Faith of a mustard seed. You know, I may not agree with everything the Bible says, but there are things sprinkled throughout it that definitely agree and resonate with me, like faith of a mustard seed. Jesus was a manifester, one of the greatest manifestors that there was, one of the greatest magicians that there was. The 3 kings that visited him were 3 magi. They were magicians. They were spiritual people. They weren't religious people. They brought incense, gold, and myrrh. They brought crystals. They brought herbs. They brought things that people who are spiritual generally work with these days. Temperance, so that patience energy again. Not giving in to the temptations energy. The energy of being able to be stable, strong, patient. There's definitely a lot of romance coming in as well for the collective. Definitely a heavy amount of romance, whining, dining, enjoying each other's company, talking for hours. Being able to really just enjoy the presence of each other and being at peace in each other's presence. Being at peace on your own, knowing that you have everything that you need inside yourself and the universe will provide the rest. Being very self-confident, very stable, very solid, feeling very good about yourself, feeling very respectful of yourself, and not allowing others to disrespect you as well. And also, once again, with the financial stability, feeling like you can stand on your own 2 feet. That way, if anything does go wrong, you can stand on your own 2 feet, which sometimes is an amazing thing. And sometimes that is a part of your life, but don't judge anybody for doing other things either, because sometimes that was a necessary part of their life. When it came to my relationship with my ex, we both wanted somebody to be able to stay at home with our kids and raise our kids. And that was seen as an important, valuable thing. That was seen as something that brought in just as much as the money brought in. Until we were around his family and his views morphed into their views. And it just kind of destroyed a lot of things. And also, fear, because I didn't have my own. And my mom was constantly in my mind for years too. What are you going to do if he dies, or this or that, or whatever else? That fear of not being able to provide for yourself, but you have what you need. And even if you don't, the universe will provide the rest. The universe will provide for you throughout those times if you have that faith, if you have that trust, and if you aren't stuck in that fear-based energy, that lack-based energy, where you feel like the entire world has come to an end and there's nothing you can do about it. You're alone there and you don't have anything you need. You're manifesting just as quickly as you are when you're manifesting those good thoughts and those good beliefs. That faith of a mustard seed, where are you going to place that faith? Are you going to place that faith in the negative, lower vibrational, fear-based thinking and anxieties that your mind creates? Or are you going to place that faith and trust in your intuition, in your guides, in the fact that you will have what you need? Communication may actually be bringing achievements in your life as well. There could definitely be people coming towards you to communicate as well, to bring you contracts to sign, to bring you awards or accolades for what you've done, recognition. There's going to be a lot of success coming in, whether that's in a relationship or in your career field. There's definitely both energies here today. But I feel like a lot of the collective right now is definitely coming into union with something, and it's the beginning stages of it where it's building something up and creating something. Could definitely be something from the past for some of you as well. Fronting with balls. People front all the time. It's always seen through. Just give me a dime. If you did, I'd be rich by now. Everybody wondering exactly how. Lies fall like blood red rain, extending all of human pain. Hurt people, or so I'm told. Trying to heal people until I am old. Hurt or not, I try not to hurt, but others never really assert. Intimidation got them quaking. In the oven, our love's bacon. Short on needed things to make it. Stop it now. You don't get to throw a fit. If you can't be honest about who you are, you will never go very far. If lies is what you seek to sow, and reaping you will get your prize bow. Something fake and faulty doesn't feel right till you're losing hope and out of sight. You say you're one thing, not thinking others sing, not regarding the image you can't keep, not examining the truths that start to leak. Know yourself before you move towards me. Don't present a picture no one will ever see. Just be you and I'll just be me. That's the step that will set you free. And so it's not just others who have been in this energy around you. If you examine things closely, you have been in this energy as well in some sort of way. Covering up your own self and who you are. Not really being you fully and comfortably. Of course, you may not have felt like you could be that way around those people because those people weren't being themselves. They were being very inauthentic. Somebody has to make that first move and take that first leap too. But being honest doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get hurt. Especially when it comes to being honest with who you are or your feelings or what you're doing or where you're going. When you're being honest, you're standing up for yourself. You're having that self-respect. You're having that self-love. That self-confidence. And you may have been a little bit out of that self-confidence and self-love and self-respect for a little bit. But so were the people that you were coming into contact with, which is why they behaved the ways that they did. Because they felt they needed their mask to guard their heart. It's time to stop guarding your heart so you can be drawing in energies of people that are not guarding their heart. Life is crazy sometimes. Take a breath and relax. Go with the flow. I know that you can handle anything coming your way. Nothing that you have ever faced you haven't bounced back from. You got this. Sit back and marvel at the strength and the beauty that is you. Be proud of yourself and of your progress, and you can only be proud of your progress and celebrate your victories when you admit that you had went through something and that you were behaving in a certain way that you didn't like, a certain aspect that you didn't like, so you worked to heal so that you could bring out the real you again. Fucking amazing work. It's hard, and not everybody does it. And a lot of that is because everybody's afraid to admit that they feel like something they were doing was wrong. Gotta be right all the time, right? But no, sometimes we are wrong. And that doesn't make us stupid. It doesn't make us naive. It doesn't make our intuition on point. But sometimes we are wrong, and we're meant to be wrong. We're meant to be wrong, first off, so we can be humbled. But second off, we're meant to be wrong at times so we can learn. It's kind of like if you stand over your child and do everything for them, they will never learn anything. But if you give them time to figure things out by themselves, they learn. And you know, having your parents gone all the time as a child, not a great thing. I know. But at the same time, I learned a lot. I learned a lot. There's a nice balance of it, though, as well, between neglect and helicoptering. Just like there is in our relationships, a steady balance between neglect and helicoptering. And sometimes it goes to different extremes before it makes a balance. That's why it's hard. That's why it's important to work on things slowly and move them up too, because those resentments aren't built so deeply. A harvest is just around the corner for you. You might not see it yet, but know that it's there. You have worked long and hard for this fertile life, and fertile soil always bears fruit. Have faith. Sometimes we learn not to stick around because a certain situation didn't work. And we put a lot of time, effort, and energy into it, and it all fell apart. And then we don't want to put that time, energy, and effort into something else and have it be just as bad. And so it keeps us from putting that time and effort in there. And you have overcame that, and you've came to this state where you're now putting that time, that effort, that attention, that work, but you're also able to pull back and do your own thing and work on your own thing and all that kind of stuff. You're coming into a very balanced state, especially emotionally. And it's because of the hard work that you have put in. So be proud of that. Acknowledge it, accept it, love it, cherish it. And you have to love the bad in order to love it. Because if you wouldn't have been in that bad, you wouldn't have been able to get to where you are. That's the thing. When it comes to that, you can't be scared about it. You have to allow yourself to be open to what your heart wants. What your heart wants is what is going to be the most important aspect of that. If you're hurting somebody else by telling them that your heart does not want them, you are doing them a favor. Rejection is protection. When other people are rejecting you, that is protection. And it is a beautiful thing because they're being honest with you and they're telling you that they really are not feeling this way. When you reject someone else, it's the same thing. Truth does hurt sometimes, but truth is so much better than a sugar-coated lie any day of the week. And so letting people know that, hey, I really do love things about you and you're an amazing person. And at one point I may have even thought that we could grow something, but I am just not feeling the same way about you as you are about me. And what you're wanting is somebody who feels the same way about you as you do me. You will feel this way about somebody else again. And when you do, maybe that someone else will feel for you what you're feeling for them too. But it's not me. To be happy and grateful without owning anything are refreshing resets that have occurred. So if you have learned how to be happy and grateful with nothing, that is something that is good that came from having nothing. It's hard having nothing. It's hurtful. It's disparaging. There's been days where I have screamed my pain and frustration over the last couple of years for sure. Because, taking the path that I have chosen to take, there hasn't been much money up until more recently. There's been a bit more. And it's slowly growing. But there have been a lot of days where I was in that lack mentality myself and feeling frustrated and like there was no one or nothing. And like I didn't have what I needed. And you said I would have what I needed, so I'm angry at you now. And those kinds of things. But then remembering that, hey, there's people who have less than what I have right now. And I really need to be grateful for the things that I have. Because I do have more than some people. As some people have reminded me, I remember it more now than I used to, but as some people have reminded me, I'm not homeless, I have an RV. Come live in my RV, motherfucker. Tell me you're not homeless, okay? But, it's one of those things where you just gotta be okay with the fact that you were in that energy. And that there is a time for that energy too. Look at mountain climbers. I'm sure they didn't make it to the top of the biggest mountains in the world on confidence posters alone. No, a lot of them probably bitched, grunted, moaned on their way up. It doesn't make them any less strong. It doesn't make them any less capable. They still made it up there. Now the ones that bitched and moaned and griped and complained and gave into that energy sank deeper and lower and deeper and lower until they gave up. And they never made it over that other side of the mountain. So not only did you have those energies going on, but you overcame those energies. You worked through those energies and you broke free on the other side. Not everybody does that. So be proud of yourself for that. Love is more of a priority than money. Take a second to see where your priorities lie. Self-love is an even bigger priority. You can't love anyone right without it. Think of those who have hurt you. Did they practice self-love? And if they did, was your own lack of self-love the problem? Because sometimes people who aren't loving themselves can see people who love themselves as narcissistic. And sometimes it's the other person not loving themselves as well. But sometimes it's both, too. And if they did, was your own lack of self-love the problem? We all need to take ownership of certain things to move forward and to make changes for our own good and the good of others. So, my own lack of self-love has definitely gotten in the way at times. A couple years ago, went through quite a damn bit of stuff with some self-love issues. And I hadn't been through a lot of that in a while, because I've gone through a lot of that throughout my life in general. But there was some things that brought back some things that I thought were healed long ago that needed to be readdressed and rehealed. And sometimes that happens as well. So, let's see. Love is definitely far more important than money, though. I will say that. And when people get into that energy of thinking that love is more important than money, they can react in one of two ways. They can react in turning away from anybody that has money. They can also react in turning away from anybody that doesn't have money. They can react in ways where they try to force people to do things for money rather than accepting that what they're doing isn't making money right now, but it can bring something later. They can also react in ways where they lash out at anyone around them who has anything to say about what they're doing, which is still a shadow side. And depending on how we handle that shadow side makes a very strong difference, because we can be angry and we can still address things in a more calm manner. And sometimes calmness doesn't work, so sometimes the more angry version is needed. Like when people are talking about riots, I don't necessarily agree with riots. Don't think I agree with riots. But if they started in protests and they didn't seem to be making any change, people get frustrated and they turn it into a riot. And sometimes it actually does help things. But also, that patience and persistence and dedication to the peace makes massive changes. Think about the 60s. How many massive changes they made by staying in that peaceful energy. Regardless of how much people wanted to abuse them or try to make them out as the bad guys, they couldn't make them out as the bad guys because those people stood their ground and they remained in their peaceful energy. They did a lot for this world, especially this country. In this country, the 60s really made some very dramatic shifts and changes. And people can say that that was an awful time period all they like, and it was horrible and miserable, and those people shouldn't have been doing that. But you know what? They rose up against the authoritarian people who were using their position of power and authority and abusing it. They were hurting a lot of people because they thought that they were the biggest dog in town, and they were in their ego, and they were overstretching their boundaries, and they were abusing their authority. And those people stood out on the front lines while they were accusing them of being violent and held their peace. And guess who got violent? The group that was really violent. Hiding yourself also includes hiding that peaceful side of yourself. And sometimes people hide that peaceful side of themselves because they don't want anybody to think that they're weak, or they can be abused, or they can be hurt or used. You get that small dog syndrome where you got to appear dangerous because nobody's going to mess with the dangerous one. Instead of realizing that the dangerous one is the one who can remain calm, who can remain in that peaceful energy no matter what anybody's putting on them. That's where the real strength lies, the true strength lies. Because then your emotions aren't swayed in important moments where it destroys you or your life or the people around you, but your emotions are in check so that you can deal with everything going on from a higher perspective. So let's see what other messages they have for us today. And if anybody wanted to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list all in the description box below. I really do appreciate anybody who's here interacting with me, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, timestamps, anybody who does anything in support of this channel. I really do appreciate you. You guys are amazing, and I really do feel the love that you send my way, so I'm so grateful for that and thankful for that. And I definitely send love your way as well. Angel wings. My guides cut the grass so that I could see. As they do, all the snakes flee. No more checking my ankles down low. They can't breach this fiery glow. Lightning speed beneath my feet. It's too bad that you lost your seat. Your poison will never take me out. I'm immune to what you're about. Sent as a test by the divine source, a power you can never touch by force. I hope you learn before it's too late. I am on the side of fate. So, releasing, letting go of control, having that faith, being in that peaceful state. You know what? I am a peaceful person, and I am not going to turn into the person who is taking violent actions. I'm not going to let my resentment, I'm not going to let my anger, I'm not going to let my fear control me. I am going to express these worries and concerns to my guides, and I'm going to know that they are there to protect me. When it is my time to go, it is my time to go, and I'm not going to be afraid of that. But what I am going to do is know that in messing with me, you're messing with very powerful spiritual forces. And they don't like it when people mess with me. They're a little less forgiving than I am. Because my ancestors definitely don't play. At the same time, I'm meant to be here for something different. I am meant to be here to show people the power of faith. Can't show people the power of faith if you aren't willing to stand in it. So you have to be willing to stand in it. You have to be willing to believe in it. You are breaking cycles from the past through to future generations, long festering karma and karmic wounds. It is time to let go, to be true to you. Allow yourself to shine bright. Leave behind what you were taught in favor of new things that you have learned. Doesn't mean that's not who you are. Who you are is just different today than it was yesterday. That's not turning against where you came from. That's just knowing that you want to do better than where you came from. And most parents, honestly, want that for their children as well. When they're not getting stuck in feeling like they aren't good enough because they're watching their children do that. Because it's not necessarily, nobody's better than anybody either. Talking points may help you in some way. Write a sentence and see what follows. It's time to really explore your mind. Stop thinking curiosity is a bad thing. It sometimes leads to bad things, but just as often it sometimes leads to good ones too. Take calculated risks. Be discerning, but not fearful. Let that fear give rise to faith and courage. Now is the time for commitment tests. Only the strongest make it through. You can do this, believe it, and make it so. I have committed myself to trying not to misunderstand situations again because of my hurt. And at the same time, some of those situations I know I did not misunderstand either, but I also know that they will be taken care of so I can let go of them. What do you commit yourself to? What's important to you? What do you love? What do you feel? Because there's a lot more important things than how successful you are in life or how much money you have in life. Claim your power. Create your world. You have the power to face and overcome any and all obstacles. It is okay to feel anxious, stressed, or upset, but don't live there and don't allow this energy to destroy all that you have worked so hard for. You have so much more power than you have been led to believe. You have already seen a lot of it too. Trust yourself and trust in what you believe. One of the things I believed was, I've watched a lot of people in this town that have helped out the homeless people in this town. This is a very Christian town. There's like 6 or 7 churches in this tiny little town. There's only like 3,500 people here. And a lot of them are considered to be living outside of city limits. Actually, there may be a lot more people here now because it's growing very rapidly. But the ones that I have watched help those people, the ones that have helped me, have been the addicts, have been the alcoholics, have been the ones that aren't so perfect, the ones that aren't so pure that they think they're better than everybody. It wasn't until more recently that I started seeing some of the Christians step up and do something. The majority of the people that were stepping up to do something were the people that ran the addiction recovery program in town, or the people who have been through those hard times themselves, and so they're willing to lend a helping hand. The people who don't look so perfect from the outside, but sometimes there's more perfect, or there's more decay underneath that perfect than there is in the ones who are normal, or, you know, normal. Everyone's normal. But it's amazing the different perceptions you see. Because what was Jesus here to do? to accept everyone, to include everyone, to love everyone, to provide for everyone. Because everyone was beautiful, equal, amazing. Not one person's sin was greater than anybody else's. All encompassing, all accepting, unconditional. He sure wasn't inside the buildings, accepting only certain people. He called those people Pharisees. You may be feeling very drained at this time. Take a step back and really look at things. Who or what is bringing this feeling about? Are you taking enough time for self-care? Are you taking care of your energy, protection, cleansing, and time for recharging? Spend some time on you. Pulling back your energy will allow you to see what may be causing this draining feeling. There's also been a lot of cops who only seem to want to bother the homeless people or the ones helping them, or, just in general, the people that aren't really doing much anything wrong. Yeah, it's been crazy seeing things from that side. It's taking back to that song Crazy again. Well, am I crazy? Probably. But that's okay, because I think you're just like me. Trying to keep you in a state of confusion and lack. They are warping your view of yourself. They are scared of you knowing your true power, the changes that you can really make. Believe in yourself and love yourself. Know that you are here for a reason. Some worst cases may even have you contemplating suicide. Don't give away your greatest gift. Focus on gratitude. So, the calling me evil and telling me that I work for the devil and all that kind of stuff in the past. Or the making me feel like I don't belong. I'm not worthy. I'm doing something wrong because I am doing something that my heart feels drawn to do. Any of those kinds of things. Yes, other people and the way they are behaving can cause you to feel those things, but they are your own feelings. And they are coming from somewhere deeper. They are not coming from the people outside of you. You can have those people outside of you saying those things all day long and have it not bother you at all. Back to the 3 pigs earlier. He still kept building his house even though his brothers were on his case, giving him shit, giving him a hard time, telling him he was dumb, all that kind of stuff. They were basically bullying him because he chose to take his time and dedicate himself to something he thought was bigger. And something that he thought was more quality. And something that he thought was worth it. Where they put theirs together very quickly, very haphazardly, and didn't really put any time, attention, effort into it. And they called him names for it. But at the end of the day, he was the one who was able to encompass and protect them. Because he took his time, his patience, his effort, his dedication, his commitment seriously. His own safety seriously. His own self-love was up there very high. And also he had a healthy level of fear. It wasn't a fear that incapacitated him or caused him to be debilitated or paralyzed. But it was enough fear to know that he needed a good house in case the wolf came. And the other 2 were like, I don't need that. I don't need that. At the same time, there's something to be said for faith. You're never stuck. Be honest, my dear. What is it that you truly fear? Hold your head high. Know that you can fly. Take that leap for yourself. Don't rot on the shelf. Follow your heart. Passion's true call. Let faith be your guide through it all. You can do this. You know you can. Pack up now and get a plan. Explain from your heart. Don't make breakup an art. Tell them there's someone who will feel it too. That someone is just not you. What they truly want is not someone to haunt, but someone who feels the same. Something where there's a lit up burning flame. Because when somebody's not feeling the same for you as you're feeling for them, you've had that feeling from another before, right? Where they're feeling very strongly, or where they're feeling very much that they're not into you, but you're into them, and you're chasing them and chasing them and chasing them, and you're not getting that time, that attention, that effort. It slowly drops your self-esteem, your self-love, your self-respect, because you're chasing this person that isn't feeling the same, and they're not telling you that they don't feel that. They're letting you in, and they're, keeping those boundaries, but they're not actually voicing that. That hurts so much. It really does. And everybody's like, well, you should get the hint. Well, yes and no. Because at times it feels like they are feeling that. And being able to express that is a very good thing. I talked about this a little bit earlier when Rashima was asking about it. Being able to talk about this is very good because it brings peace to the situation. It brings closure to the situation. If you're waiting for closure from others, give closure to those that need closure from you. There's actually a guy that is a friend of mine that was feeling that for me too. I still feel like he still feels more than I feel. But I have clarified to him several times that I'm not feeling the same way. If he ends up stuck on that and wanting to somehow think that it can grow into something, that's on his own shoulders at this point. It's not on mine. I wasn't leading anyone along. I told him exactly what I felt. I was very honest about my feelings. And I have re-clarified them a couple times to make sure that he still gets that this isn't going anywhere. I do not feel the same. There has to be that initial spark there too. Sometimes it lasts, sometimes it doesn't, but that initial spark is very important. If you're feeling like this person is not somebody you would be interested in any way, that's never going to grow into something. It just isn't. And vice versa for the person feeling that way for you. And that rejection is protection. It really is. And also it allows you to clear out the people that you aren't wanting there so that the people that you are wanting can come into your life. Because as you clear those people that you're not wanting out, you get rid of the competition that isn't even necessary. Because you know what you want. I love our adventures together, and you bring so much happiness to my life. I love playing with you. I love making you laugh, and I'm so glad that you picked me because I would pick you every time. Look in your heart to understand who this person is for you, and if this person is not the person standing in front of you, then let them know that. And vice versa, if somebody lets you know that you're not that person for them, take it gracefully. Take it without it turning into the end of the world, because it isn't. You didn't lose somebody you loved. Not if you decide to keep that friendship anyway. You didn't lose somebody that you loved. But keeping that friendship means being able to understand that and let go. And being able to heal your heart so that you can find something somewhere else. And so that you aren't putting all that resentment on them for not feeling the same way you did. Empty head. What's inside my head today, looking for a brand new way? The clatter of thoughts that used to rain down. Gone is that crooked crown. No more overthinking, my mind is clear. Gone are the days of fear. Time for a bright new start. I am my greatest work of art. So, believing that you are amazing after somebody has rejected you is very hard, but it can be done. And you've worked to heal that in yourself. So by telling others that are feeling that way about you, you give them a chance to work to heal that inside themselves as well, and to love themselves regardless of whether or not somebody else felt emotions for them. Your happiness and peace and your validation should come from inside, not outside. And sometimes it does come from outside, so we're all a little bit worried about hurting people because of what they have going on. That would be the toxic side of an empath. Because then you keep those truths to yourself. Then you end up being the one who's stringing people along, who's ghosting, who's breadcrumbing. When you could have been honest, and maybe you could have even salvaged a friendship out of it, but now the friendship is in such disrepair that sometimes it's impossible to bring back. We have the swan, the horse, and the oyster. So looking in the mirror is going to be very beneficial. Living your truth, being at peace with who you are, being at peace with the ripples and waves that you cause, while at the same time knowing that they're going to be a lot less harsh when they're honest. Being able to speak your truth and how you feel about somebody is a very important thing, whether it's good or whether it's bad. It's a very important thing to be able to do, whether it's going to hurt them or it's going to make them happy. When you're speaking your truth and you're living your truth, it creates a lot less conflict than it does to keep that to yourself until it builds up into something else. Or it ends up with breadcrumbing and ghosting. Or it ends up with not really feeling comfortable around each other. Because it can be a very uncomfortable feeling when one person has more feelings than the other person, especially if the person has told them that, hey, I don't share those same feelings. Or if they haven't said it. Think about the different ways things play out in those situations. Seeing things from a new perspective is really helping you. You may feel like you've been delayed or paused, or things have been slowed down in a way. But the reason things are slowing down the way that they are is so that you can find that peace and that gratitude inside of yourself, that gracefulness, that stability, that being able not to, or not having your feathers ruffled so easily from the outside, and also being okay with sometimes people get their feathers ruffled just by being yourself and expressing your truth. Your motivation, your drive, your ambition, your goals are definitely going to be paying off. Your goals are going to be paying off in very good ways. For some of you, definitely financially and stability, creating a legacy that you can be proud of. But a legacy that you can be proud of isn't just the money. A legacy that you can be proud of is the way that you raise your children, the way that you interact together, the support and the community feeling you get from your family, the love and the trust, the kindness and the care, the loyalty, the acceptance. It's not about who you exclude, it's about who you include. You have a very beautiful soul inside of you, a wisdom that has been really brought to life. And it's time to expose this wisdom. It's time to show it. It's time to shine that light. It's time to be you. And it's time to realize that that is the only thing that is holding you back from achieving your goals. It's not everybody else. It's not what anybody has to say. It's not what anybody's doing. It's not the way anybody treats you. It's none of that. It's all in your honesty, your openness, your ability to be vulnerable, your ability to look stupid and not care, your ability to be able to express things and have backlash come at you without it destroying your world, your ability to love yourself wholly, stably, and completely. And in being honest with others about you not feeling the same way as they do about you, you're helping them come into that energy too. Because those lessons are things that need to be learned. And yeah, sure, it was hurtful and painful when you went through those things. But without those things, where would you be today? Safe and happy travel. Protection from harm when journeying. Power symbol. Cleanse, purify, protect the physical body. Spirit. Heavenly assistance from your angels and guides. So right now you're receiving a lot of downloads, you're receiving a lot of upgrades, you're really leveling up, you're growing, you're shedding the old skin. This pause and this break is so that you can get okay with that, so that you can get ready for the changes that are coming. There's a lot of big changes coming, and getting ready for those changes that are coming is very important so that you aren't thrown off guard when they get here, so that you can handle all of it when it gets here. So it's not a heavy weight on your shoulders, but it's something that feels good. You're definitely going to be very safe and happy on this journey that you're going on right now. Whether that is traveling, actually traveling, I'm feeling like for most of you, it's more of an esoteric journey. It's more of a spiritual journey. It's more of an enlightenment, awakening, conscientiousness, all of those kinds of things. And while you are coming out and being more vulnerable, you are protected. You're not protected from every scrape or bruise that's going to happen, but essentially you are protected. A good parent isn't just there to stop their kids from getting hurt. They're there to pick them up when they fall down and to doctor their scraped knee. To talk to them, to send them the signs, the messages, the synchronicities, the assistance that they need. Make sure that you are keeping your energy cleansed, purified, your space. You know, it doesn't matter who you have inside. People will tell you, oh, make sure you only let certain people inside. Make sure you cleanse afterwards. You're going to be around all types of people all the time. Make sure you cleanse afterwards. Make sure that you're in your own energy. Make sure that you're not adopting their energies. At least that's what the healers are doing. Because healers are around people that are hurt, people that are low vibrational, people that are going through things. But healers do not let their things become their own things. They don't take it home at the end of the day. Otherwise, they end up killing themselves. And really, they end up in those low vibrational energies, which means they're not putting healing energy out there anymore either. That's why it was so important for you to go down the rough path that you have gone down, is so that you can learn how to do that for yourself. Because you're going to have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders with the good things that are coming. There's also a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of strength required. There's a lot of responsibility. And with great responsibility, or with great power, comes great responsibility. So you had to go through the things that you did so that you could learn how to be responsible with that power that you have inside of you. Because you're going to be creating a lot of changes around you massively. A lot of changes around you. And those changes are changes that are going to be on a good level because of the work that you have put in. So I'm going to do one more message for the closeout. My phone is getting very low on battery. It always seems to be very low on battery towards the end of these. I've only had it shut off in the middle of it once, but that was because it was hot. So, let's see. Last messages for today. You will be going after what you want. Sorry. You will be going after what you want for you. No longer concerned with the thoughts, opinions, or emotions of others. If it hurts others for you to go after what you want, then that's better than living a lie to bring others joy, because that joy is false joy. As much as the lie is a lie, that joy is false joy. Abundance and fertility will be found all around you. You will be living a life that you are passionate about, and you will be able to smell the roses because of it. You are leading others through your example and inspiration. With great power comes great responsibility, and you take this very seriously. Wow. I love that that came out right there, because you know what? We were just talking about with great power comes great responsibility, and exactly. And you take this seriously. You show others what it's like to be a true leader. And that true leadership is something that is going to be being highlighted in your life, and you're going to have to be okay with that. You're going to have to be okay with the slander that comes your way because of it, because people are always going to do that. God, it drives me crazy listening to anything political a lot of the times anymore, because nobody's even talking about the good things that they've done in their life. They're busy butchering the other people instead. And it happens every time anymore. And it's just, what kind of leadership example is that? When you're the highest leadership example in this place, you should definitely be leading with integrity. But sometimes it's hard to find that integrity, which is why you had to go through what you went through too. I've seen you so many times before. I hope one of us one day starts a conversation. I would love to see if your voice is as amazing as I imagine it is. I catch myself watching you at times when you don't know it. I have tried to convince myself to approach you, but you make my knees weak and my mouth dry. I need some new energy in my life. You are so zesty, and I feel that it would be so fun to hang out together. I have to remind myself that I have work to do every time that you're near. You are a distraction. I love that. I hope it never ends. So, earlier in this reading, we were talking about how money is not the most important thing. So, both sides of this situation could be coming to that conclusion as well. That yes, there's work to do, but you can have a balance of work to do and partnerships and family and friends and life. There is work to do, yes, but keeping yourself in balance by making sure that you are taking care of other aspects of your life is also important as well. But reminding yourself when you're getting carried away into a situation that yes, I still do have work to do is equally important because you have important work to do. At the same time, you can take a break from that work sometimes. It's not going to kill anybody or yourself. You take your responsibilities very seriously, but sometimes you need time for you too. So today it is $10 a question, FlameX Princess, and you can find my Cash App and PayPal in the description box below. What date is it? It's the end of April right now, I'm pretty sure. April 28th. So yeah, sometime in the next week or two, I will be doing my once a month free session with questions for people as well. And, but today is a $10 question day. I have tried to convince myself to approach you, but my knees are weak and my mouth is dry. So somebody's very nervous about approaching you. Somebody may feel a little bit intimidated by you. You may actually be in the same energy as this person as well, that your work is very important. And at times they may have prioritized that over relationships. So they may even be afraid that if they come in, you are going to prioritize work and money over the relationship because they have been in that state before. But I feel like the reasons that you went through a lot of what you went through is so that you could realize the value of love and the value of friendships and relationships and things like that, so that when it comes to the money, you don't sacrifice those situations for that. Sacrificing what could be and what could bring so much happiness to you because you're worried about the money aspect. It's time to find a good balance on when to take action and when to wait, patiently with open receptivity. Listen to your intuition. What does your higher self tell you that it's time to do? Where does it tell you to wait with faith and trust, knowing that your hard work and perseverance will pay off? Dive deep and know that balance can be found externally, only when it's found internally. So, this balance that you're looking for in your life will be found outside of yourself once it is found inside of yourself. Once you have that steady balance within your own life, and you may actually have noticed recently that there's been a lot more of certain things happening in your life to where you've had to put aside some things to in favor of other things like that. You know, you're starting to make other things a priority too, not just the one steady focus. And so you're adding in a lot of things right now and learning how to balance them out. If anybody's noticed, while I was out in the middle of nowhere, I did a lot more readings because, you know, I was out in the middle of nowhere. And the last month or so, I've been back in town and I've had a lot more going on. So there's been a little less readings. And sometimes that happens with any situation of your life. You have more time focused on this right now than other things because this is what's going on. And also being able to make a effort to balance those things out is good too. I got distracted. One of the girls from Maverick was walking by outside. I really love the people that work there. They are so amazing, honestly. They're very accepting and just, yeah. They really are some very great people in a lot of ways. Learning how to dance again, learning how to be filled with joy again has been something that has been hard. And I feel like you are gaining a lot more lightness to your step, becoming more bubbly again, more happy go lucky again, more joyful again, in that more vibrant energy that you used to be in again, that high vibrational energy that may have been sapped from you in ways for a little bit. And you're really just enjoying life and everything it has to offer again. And if you aren't in that energy yet, you soon will be, definitely. So I'm going to read a couple more of these and then we're going to call it a day. Picture for mom. I love you. Challenges. Challenges she faces. P.S. She always overcomes them. Mom is this beautiful rose here. I just thought of that. I am so small, but my stem is so small. A stem so small can hold a bud so big. Wow, that was really hard for me to say. Sometimes you can't see the support or love of people around you because you are not feeling like you deserve it, or you are not feeling like anyone seeing you or noticing you or recognizing you. It's because you are not validating yourself. You are not recognizing yourself. You are not seeing your own accomplishments, your own strengths, your own beauty. Sometimes all you're seeing is your thorns. And even though all you're seeing is your thorns, the people that really love you around you still see your beauty. Throw the game to get the win. Winning and losing is all that matters. When you do that, your love matters. Set your pride aside, your heart now confide. No more lies across your lips, poison from your tongue drips. Ease the pain of your pride and tell the truth of what you lied. So, there can be some things that you may have been seeing in warped perceptions at one time. And you may be somebody who prides yourself on honesty. But you might have been seeing things through a warped lens at one point in time. And now it's time to come clean on those things and to express the new lens that you're seeing things through. The lens that was dirty the whole time because of the eyes that you were looking out and not because of the people that were around. Sometimes when you're in that hurt state, everyone around you becomes an enemy. When you're feeling cornered, you lash out, just like a cornered tiger would. 2 crowns per throne. Who can stand tall through it all? Who deserves to win this crown? The king of Crazy Town. Boring is not the word for my life. At times there's a lot of chaos and strife. An emotional roller coaster, as exciting as an action movie poster. Extreme lows, extreme highs too. I healed my wings and flew. No more box for me. I'm ready to fly free. Who's coming with me? Your will is free. So, if somebody wants to come along for the ride, they come along for the ride. If they don't want to come along for the ride, they don't come along for the ride. And you let that go. Because you're not meant to be on the same ride together. You know? But at the same time, the top doesn't have to be lonely. Somebody else can be there with you. So, who is that person that makes you feel like they can stand tall through everything? Who keeps their cool through so many trials and tribulations? That person who's able to be a leader. That person who's able to make a conflict and stir one up if it's necessary, if they feel like it's important to them. Somebody who's going to stand up against those who are abusing their power. Somebody who's going to say what they need to say even if everybody doesn't like it. Who's that person around you? Because you may be looking at them through, or in the past you could have been looking at them through the warped eyes of the way that you were looking at yourself. Because I bet you carry a lot of those qualities inside of yourself. And people think it's crazy. People think that it's stupid. People think that it's not worth fighting for, things like that. And then there's some instances where things aren't worth fighting for. And compromise and peace is what's most important. Who is the other person that does this around you? Look for those qualities that you love in people. And every one of those people is going to have qualities that you don't like. That's the way it is. Everybody has quirks or things about them. And that's okay. So that is pretty much what I have for today's reading. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. I would love to hear what you have to say about it in the comments below. And I hope you found things that resonated for you and helped you through what you're going through. Thank you for trusting me to be your guide on this path, and for all the donations that everybody gives, and for the likes, the shares, the subscribes, the comments, checking out my other channel and doing the same over there. Everything that you guys do is so amazing and so appreciated, and there's really been a lot of you doing that lately. I truly do appreciate you guys and love you so much. And I hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys.